Today is day 120 on my semen retention streak with 0 relapses. That's 4 straight months, guys. 4 straight months. And I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't feel like that. Kind of feels like time sped by through this. And I'm realizing that the version of me that started this journey on day 1, that existed on day 1, he's gone. He's gone. He's not me. I'm not him anymore. If you like these semen retention videos, guys, if you have a desire to get on a longer streak, like what I have been doing here, hitting 120 days, follow along, subscribe. The channel is just me, quite literally. What I think is happening is just channeling information to you guys based off my experiences and wisdom and lessons learned, and hopefully motivating and inspiring you guys to try something out for you. So yeah, comment, let me know where you're at. How far along are you on your semen retention journey? What are you learning? What's hard? What's difficult? What's easy? What's changing? What's not changing? And let's open it up with this question. Do you feel like the version of you that currently exists right now is the version of you that started this journey on day 1? Do you? Because I am not the version of me that started this 120 days ago, 4 months ago. I'm just not. And not in like the weird signed a contract, my soul got kicked out and they swapped me out. Not that kind of not me weird. Nope, still me. But an upgraded version of me, a better version of me that I'm much happier being, has taken the place of that old version of me. Now, technically, they both still exist, right? It seems like from some of my last videos, you guys actually really do enjoy me getting into the metaphysics, quantum mechanics, very spiritual kind of meta side of things with these conversations, which is great because I geek out over this stuff. I love this stuff. And to keep that in mind, basically, technically all versions of us exist at one time, okay? We think that in this 3D reality, time is linear because that's how we perceive it, because we have to walk through reality, right? And experience things happening, and then that thing happens, and then I do this, and then that thing happens, and you have to like hit the first domino to get the last domino down, right? But the truth is, in this no space, no time, quantum mechanics, quantum field side of things, is everything is happening at once. So that version of me that started semen retention 120 days ago, he still exists. He's still doing his thing. He's still grinding. This version of me also exists right now at the same time. There's a version of me that I'm leveling up into right now that I might not currently be, but he is also existing right now amongst unlimited other versions and numbers across the timeline, right? So there's constantly a new version of you to jump into. This is the whole concept of quantum leaping, right? Timeline jumping is what they call it, where when you actively become a different version of you right now, you work through the programs, you make a new decision, you do the spiritual work, you do the inner work specifically, you become a new version of yourself. And it might not be noticeable because everything in that reality might look similar, except now this internal change has, or something something has shifted for you and the reality still looks pretty much the same. Everything's the same, but like little changes start to happen. And the more you do this work, the bigger the changes start to happen. Does that make sense? So when you choose to level up, when you make your intention known to become a better version of yourself, you start to shift into new reality and you start to do things that you never thought you were capable of or would ever want to do. And now you're on this path, this journey upwards, this spiral upwards, starting to become a better version of yourself. Better. Everything's neutral. It's really just the value that we project onto the thing. But for lack of better words, a better version of yourself. That's more in alignment with what you want. The version of me that exists today is absolutely not the version of me that started this 120 days ago. Not even close. And I'm really, really happy with that. The version of me that started this, man, guys, he was a lonely motherfucker. He's pretty lonely, pretty sad, pretty defeated. Going through a lot. Had already been through a lot. You know, people talk about hitting rock bottom, dark nights of the soul, but when you really start to hit one of those and just sit in it for years, man, it'll do a number on you. And I had practiced this whole concept of semen retention, guys, unknowingly throughout my childhood, late teens, high school, college. Didn't really know much about it, but that's just what I always leaned into. And I was always the one that shone brighter than most, that got what he wanted, that got the attention, that got the success, was the top of the class, stuff like that. Didn't really understand any of this. In the last couple of years, I've used this to get stuff that I want and paired it with, Neville Goddard's vision exercises, Dr. Joe's work, stuff like that, paired all that stuff together. And I got stuff that I wanted. There's so many stories that I could go through and share about that eventually I will on this channel. Whether it's hooking up with a girl that I wanted to, without knowing where she'd be, who she would be, but like envisioning the whole experience. I've do that for a month or two, and like you train your body to have already experienced it, and then it just kind of pops into reality. Same with making money, same with building a business, same with a million different things, really whatever you want to experience in life. And I guess what am I trying to say here? I've been doing this for years on and off, right? But I didn't truly understand the effects on the body, the effects in this reality, and the true long-term benefits and like the spiritual implications and the mental, the physical, and all this stuff, the biological implications of it. I didn't have any knowledge of that. So it wasn't important to me to continue to do this, to keep on the streak. I get to 40 days or 50 days or whatever, 60 days here and there, and got the thing, got the girl, got the whatever, but then life gets hard, the internal pressure kicks up, the emotional pressure kicks up, and can't handle it. So then release, watch the thing, fall back into a vice, a habit, an addiction. But this one was different. This streak was different. Obviously, it was very much motivated from the loss of my mom in July. That has become a catalyst for a lot of change in my life. Yeah, that's become a catalyst for a lot of change in my life. And in September, because I had flown out to Wisconsin to help with family stuff for months and spent the summer there, and came back to Nashville in September, and drjoedispenza happened to be having a week-long event here. So I was like, F it, I'm going. You know, if you don't stay in the hotel, because I live 20 minutes away, I think it's like $2,500 or something like that. You gotta invest in these things though, they're worth it. Look into those events, guys. They'll change your entire life. And in this one, guys, I just tuned into peace and healing. And actually, do you know what's funny? Going to that event, I was on like a day 40 of semen retention. Hilarious. And still just so much stuff to work through, guys. And I had a lot that I was working through. But that event was an event where I tangibly held more energy than ever before at another Dr. Joe event. Like, that was my fourth one. And that was the one where, again, I kid you not, I've never held that much energy and just felt that force, that life force surging through me, so connected to God. And I spent the week just like doing these walking meditations, tuning into the version of myself that's a king, that has moved through this, that is showing up as the version of me that I actually desire to show up as, right? And after that event, I've talked about this before, but my life just started to purge, and things began to change, and things fall out, and things fall in, and all these changes start happening. And I'm sitting here like, what the F is this? Like, this isn't what I tuned into. No, but it's the purging. And this is one thing that I want to be very clear with you guys, is when you set your intentions really big and you change your energy in a big way in your mindsets and who you're going to show up as, reality will shift, and it is not always pleasant. It can be quite uncomfortable. But you have to trust the process. You have to take a step even when you only see one step of the path. You don't get to see where the rest of the path is leading. That would be great, wouldn't it? You know? Of course, that'd be wonderful. But that's not the point. Take a step, trust, walk it. Ended up not even seeing that streak through. Was still looking for validation from women. Was getting so many clear signs that that was not the correct thing for me to be doing. The amount of interactions that I had with women where I get their number and like, it just wouldn't pan out. It wouldn't turn into anything. And the version of me that was showing up, he's like clearly just wanting attention, female validation from women, which, let's be real, has, you know, been a more of a lifelong pattern up to this point. But also, think about it. When your mom passes, guys, and this is a very red pill concept, and I think there are limiting beliefs buried into this. But from a 3D perspective, it does ring true as well. That, man, is there ever going to be another female woman on this planet that loves you at the level that your mother does, unconditionally? Is there anyone? Well, wives, how many of them, if you stop showing up and supporting and playing the masculine role, how many of them will still be there for you? If they're not going to be there, it's not unconditional. Same goes with family, sisters, siblings, relatives. You start showing up as a different version of you that they're not satisfied with, are they going to hang around? Oh, then it's not unconditional love. My mom was the only unconditional loving person in my life. That's what it's genuinely felt like. The only one that, let's just say, wasn't actively trying to change me, rein me in, stop me from asking questions, going deep, standing out, being the weird one in the family that doesn't buy into everything, that's setting a new trend, a new path. I think my dad's gotten a little bit softer, a little bit better at starting to lean into that a little bit, but when you lose that female energy, again, we're talking from a 3D linear perspective here, it opened up this void. I could just feel it in my chest of like this feminine energy, this space that's opened up. And I immediately just wanted to fill it with more female attention and just hookups and sex and dating around and all this stuff, validation. And I was getting clear signs that, nope, that's not going to work. We're going to close that door. Nope, close that door, close that door. Sit with yourself. And that's what happened. And eventually, eventually I was like, screw it. Okay. Let's sit with this. Let's stop pursuing women. Let's not follow up with any of them. And just go within and sit with this. And it was dark and it's uncomfortable. And somewhere along that timeline, semen retention popped back in, but it was, I always follow motivational channels, men's channels, stuff like that. But this whole concept of semen retention started to pop up more consistently. All the guys you see making videos, that's what I'm talking about. And it's like, okay, F it. Dove into it, started consuming all the content, right? It just started to resonate in a different way. And that's how that's one thing you guys can take from this too, is sometimes you really just need to go with your gut instincts, your gut feelings. Don't necessarily use your brain up here, use your gut brain. See what you resonate with. Is this the right path for me? Is this the right thing to be doing? And I just know, I have a gut instinct when I know something is a path for me to take. And it's like, screw it. Let's see what happens after I consumed all of this knowledge and really started to form a mental model in my mind of, oh, there is really big value to this practice beyond what I actually understood. There is a hair, right? I get it. That is obnoxious. And finally said, all right, screw it. I'm going to go all in on this. I was going to have to go back and see my family over Christmas. And I decided if I was going to go back there, I wanted to hold as much energy and set the tone and protect myself with that energy, demand respect. And there was a lot of bullshit that went down during my mom's passing. And, well, you learn things about people that, you think are close to you. And yeah. Betrayal sucks, betrayal hurts. And I decided, that trip's going to be wildly uncomfortable. I might as well just approach it, go there with as much energy as possible stored up. By the way, guys, I wasn't planning on talking about any of this. I just show up here and I set the intention of like, hey, what would help the most men here? What would inspire the most people? That's the message I want to channel into this video. So we're following this path. I don't know. This is where we're going. Let me know if this is resonating with you guys at all. If you stick around, it'll, I'll really start to get into more of the changes that I've identified in past, present version of me. But I said, okay, screw it. I'm going to go back to Wisconsin with as much energy stored up as possible. And I ended up I was around like 72 days when I went back for Christmas. And I'm telling you guys, it made a difference. It made a difference. On this practice, I feel protected. I feel safe. I feel like my energy field is strong and protecting me, and it's interesting how that works. By the way, come to find out, I don't know if you guys have ever looked into this concept of life path numbers, numerology, stuff like that. You would think I would have known more about this up to this point with my whole journey of everything I have studied, but nope, another layer. I've been learning about this in the last week. Being a life path 9, being born in the pig year, there's a guy named GG33 on YouTube that I've been learning from his content. And he was saying, which I've come to learn now, this is wild. And he's like, man, most, like 60 to 65% of people end up having a parent pass away during what's called their enemy year, which is like a year that shows up every 12 years. And it's a year where the difficulty level of life gets cranked up. And it's a year of like, almost like God, the universe, creation, leveling you out, making sure you don't get too powerful, too big, too whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, I was saying that. But this idea of being just leveled out, it's not a growth year. It's like a retraction year. Anybody ever experienced one of these? Let me know in the comments. And it turns out, guys, as being born in a pig year, my year was 2025, the year of the snake. They're opposites. They're enemy years. And don't get me wrong, I've had some difficult years, but last year, my mom did pass away in my enemy year. Like, what are the freaking chances of that? Dealing with all this family drama, losing close relationships, where people just clearly showed versions of them that I don't have any desire to be around or be close with. Literally almost dying of a effing parasite cleanse. Literally. that was about how the year ended, and it goes till the 16th, 17th of this month. So technically it's just wrapping up next week, thank God. And you could say, Jason, that's BS, that's whatever, like, maybe, you know, there's a side of me with Dr. Joe's work that does believe that you can overpower this type of thing, and if you raise your frequency high enough, you could potentially be immune to this. But there's also this side of like the Matrix where you're like, why am I seeing numbers everywhere? Why do I open up my YouTube video right before this to check something and it's at 1,111 views? You know, I see them everywhere, literally everywhere. The 2, 3, 4, 5s, the 3, 3, 3s, 1, 1, 1s, 2, 2, 2s, 4, 4, 6, and all of them constantly. And it's telling me that, okay, if I communicate with my creator through numbers, maybe there's more to this numerology thing, this numbers thing than what we realize. And maybe there's a way to use it to our advantage. And the more that I'm learning about all this stuff, guys, the more that I'm realizing that there are people that are aware of this, that are using this information to live better lives, to make better decisions and use it to their advantage. And now I'm prepping a whole strategy for this next version that I'm transforming into, of like, okay, I'm going to learn all this stuff and I'm going to figure out how to use it to my advantage. I'm getting off on a tangent here. To bring it back, to pull it back, look into numerology, look into life path numbers, if that's intriguing to you at all, if that resonates. If it doesn't, cool, keep going. And after December, guys, you know, still had my streak intact, and I said, well, 70 is cool, let's get to 100 or 120, or I don't know. And I firmly believe that semen retention, guys, the energy that it builds up and allows you to hold, I firmly believe that this did play a role in my survival of this last year. Even in the last few months, even when I'm doing a parasite cleanse and accidentally overdosed on it and was in a really bad spot. Like it could have been infinitely worse. And this, I'm telling you, this energy that I have been holding has absolutely protected me, as has God, as has spirit team. Like there's a greater, higher power looking out for me. I firmly believe that. But I also firmly believe that this decision to hold my energy in has given me a protection, an aura, an energetic field that has brought that into reality. So this gets me to where I am today, right? And I'll say this, guys. The version of me that existed when he started day one is not the same version of me that exists today. I'm literally in a brand new apartment, right? Nice car. Let's talk from the physical level. I had this desire, guys, to move further into Nashville, to get into the dating scene with all these women and just start hooking up and just dating around. And don't get me wrong, there's still a side of me that really would enjoy that. But also, the longer that I started to get on this streak, I was like, I don't want to give this energy up. I genuinely feel like I need this energy for me right now. It's a gut feeling. It's a gut emotion. This is protection. There's like a freedom. I can tell I'm filling my energy bucket back up, and it's having a positive impact on my life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, My eyes have gotten really white. My confidence has gone up. Anxiety has gone down. I'm not as much of a lonely mother effer that I was previously. Like I'm learning to be content to just sit with me and spend time with me and just, is it always easy? No, but I'm getting better at it. And it was funny because literally holding this energy in, guys, it changed me. It changed my desires. I was like, wait, no, I don't want to go live that life anymore. I'm actually going to move the opposite direction an hour to where my team lives and go all in on me and hold this energy in. Then I started dreaming, like, what would it look like if I just kept holding this energy in? How long could I go? Could I go a year giving this love, this energy, this attention back to me? This thing that I keep looking from other people, from women, for this validation, whatever. Can I give that to myself? What would that look like? And I end up in this location with a different apartment and life looking differently location-wise. And yeah, there's been some cool things. Like, again, this version of me doesn't have as much of a lack mindset or is scared and feared as the version of me that started. And thus, yeah, it's been uncomfortable to level up a living situation, to level up, lifestyle a little bit. And, every level, different devil, another thing to work through. It's like, wow, okay. My reality is changing around me. I'm becoming so much more optimistic about life. I'm finally starting to shift back into this excitement for using meditation and these vision exercises and just like tapping into this power that we're given as co-creators of our reality. I'm finally circling back to this again. And it's stuff that I've known for a while, but man, when you're deep in it, when you're at the rock bottoms and you're at these all-time lows, guys, you almost can barely just pray. You can almost sometimes barely even speak. You can sometimes barely even just like drag yourself out of bed. Pretty odd that corresponds to this this 2025 being my enemy year. Again, look into it, guys. Interesting stuff. But put your beliefs to the side when you start looking into this stuff, because it challenges them. I'm just, again, 120 days in, guys. Yeah, you could talk about physical benefits. You could talk about all this stuff. To be honest, I was working out every day for the past, like all of 2025. That was like the thing that was pushing me through. I've stopped in the past 2 months, month and a half. Haven't been working out. Ever since I started getting into dry fasting and really realizing that I need to be taking care of my body from two different sides of the equation. Yes, there's working out, but that can also become an addiction. And don't get me wrong, I love being physically fit. I'm an athlete from birth at heart, right? So it's always easy for me to actually go get pretty ripped and pour my time into it, but I have an addictive personality. Once I really get onto something, I like zone in on the thing and like, I'm like, I'll be the best. And this time, hitting pause on that because, again, I'm realizing so much of this BS of like desiring validation from women and all this stuff, and like realizing that so much of my life, my physical look, working out and everything was motivated by, oh, you get more female attention when you have a six-pack in 7th, 8th grade and you go into high school and you're ripped and like you start working out. Like, yeah, that, and I've still recognized patterns of that in my life today, that it's like, let's actually work through this. It's okay, Jason, to hit pause on working out physically right now. I'm transmuting this sexual energy that I'm holding on to into other things. I've got a lot of other stuff that I'm pouring this energy into, so I'm good. I'm good there. I'd rather pour this energy right now instead of trying to physically build myself up. I'd rather detox, remove what's not a part of me or what shouldn't be a part of me. Addition by subtraction as opposed to addition by addition, okay? So now I'm in a season of doing that. What happens where I really zone in on this? And I guess, again, guys, I'm just following my gut. I'm just doing what feels right. There's no right or wrong answer here for what you want to do to transmute this energy. Do what makes sense for your path, your life, whatever. But for me now, I've literally just stopped working out, and it's been a little bit of an internal battle because, quit being lazy, Jason. Oh, your self-worth is tied to your physical body and being strong and be able to protect yourself and all that BS that I'm unraveling now. It's like, is it okay to be in a season where you're not the most ripped or the strongest wherever you go? Yeah, it is. Especially when you're in a period of detoxing and purging physically in your life, all of it. Make it easy on your body. Your body doesn't want to have to be trying to grow and put on muscle and all this stuff while also detoxing and tearing down and rebuilding. There's a season for everything. Pick your season. So that's where I've been. And again, it's another change, guys, that I did not see coming. The version of me that wanted to, that started this journey was obsessed with working out, and he got validation from everybody seeing him strong and seeing him, it's like a respect thing. It's whatever. Whereas this version of me now, I'm like, dude, I'm back at my normal weight that I was in high school before getting into working out and everything, and like 155, 5'9" and a half. We'll call it 5'10". And like, cool. What's wrong with being just normal like that, Jason? For a season. Why not? Why the heck not? Again, it's another like internal change, an internal desire switch being flipped. Just like me moving more downtown to get more women versus coming the opposite direction versus, again, being obsessed with this physical look and the ego being attached to the body. Okay, what if I separated from that for a little bit? And it's an ongoing journey. One of my favorite things to do now is just to use dry fasting. I'm becoming just more and more aware of how, man, when using food to numb myself, right, as a vice. You could do it, with porn, with masturbation, with sex, with dating, with trying to get female validation. You can do it you can numb yourself with like these addictions, working out, like all this stuff. I think I made a video that was like, semen retention is the only good addiction or something like that. It's like, Well, hear me out. Like, I still do line up with that, because at least it's the thing that builds your energy and your frequency and causes you, if you are paying any sort of attention, to actually have to work through this stuff to become a better version of yourself. Does it cause you to be too rigid in life? I don't know. I don't know yet. Maybe, maybe not. But everything's a season, right? There's a season for everything. There's a season to be doing different things in life, focusing on different things, whether it's a diet, whether it's adding muscle, working out, whether it's detoxing and getting your vessel cleaned out, whether it's dating or actually going celibate and holding that sexual energy and creating your life and going all in on your career. There's seasons for everything. I'm on 120 days of semen retention without any relapses. That sounds really cool, doesn't it? Like, it's cool. I'm gonna flex that. That's a huge accomplishment. But like, am I gonna do that forever? I don't know yet. I'll follow my gut. But I have this desire to see what happens if I go an entire year, to allow this energy to change me, to purify me. I just feel like I'm back to a more pure, from an intent standpoint, of myself. I feel like I'm back to a version of me that's able to handle more pressure. Like with my company, with our business, like taking risks, taking shots on ourselves, starting new things, launching new things, like taking risk, which is where all the reward is, by the way. And just trusting that it's all gonna work out better than I even imagined, right? That's what I'm using this semen retention energy for. You can move more confidently. I'm way more confident. Guys, I have had this vision of having this YouTube channel, this idea, this concept for so long. And I was terrified by the idea of being vulnerable and authentic and transparent and having people leave mean comments and like dogging on me and all this stuff. And after just 26 days on the streak, here we are. Started making videos. This is video like number 95 or something like that. And it's all because I decided to hold this energy with an intention of becoming a better version of myself. And suddenly this urge, like I couldn't resist it. I had to start a YouTube channel. I had to start making videos, and like I literally couldn't resist it. And here we are. And now I'm becoming a version of me that it is normal to hop in front of a camera, turn it on, and talk. Sometimes I have a topic, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I swear to God, I am just channeling a message from source. But it feels right. And I'm a version that's willing to be seen now. Now, this version of me is willing and able to step into the next version of me that uses this same concept for my business, being seen for that business, right? Stepping to the forefront for that community, for these other things that I'm wanting to do. It's causing a chain reaction, guys. It's not necessarily about the semen retention. The semen retention, guys, this journey, this energy that I'm holding, it is just the catalyst. It's the momentum. It's the thing that is 4433. I don't know what that means, but saw it. It's the thing that's, yeah, it's the energy in the tank, guys, to start to move differently, to view the world differently, to be perceived differently. And it is only a matter of time before this reality, this physical time starts to catch up a little bit more and realize, people start to view me differently again. This next level, another level up, another level up. And I'm just setting the stage for this next best version of myself to keep stepping into my body, to keep timeline jumping into that reality. And there is going to be a reality very quickly where, more women are probably going to start coming to my reality and getting more attention and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest, guys, though, when you really start getting on these streaks, like day 180, like the shifts, the physical shifts aren't as significant. It's more, you kind of just get used to everything. And to me, it turns more into internal shifts consistently. And the things that I desire in life, and I'm almost being shaped and molded internally in a different way for what I actually desire out of life. What is actually my purpose? What is the next? And I'll ask God in my meditations, hey, what's the right next step for me? Bring the next thing into my reality that I need to work on. That's how semen retention came into my reality. It's like, oh, this feels right. I'm gonna run with this. I think this is meant to be. And I just keep asking, hey, what do I need to know to get to the next step of my life, this next version of me I desire to be? Oh, then all of a sudden on YouTube, guys, numerology, life path numbers pop in. I start learning about, oh my gosh, what, holy shit, an enemy here? That would have been good to know. Mother effing 18 months ago, going into 2025. That would have been great to know. Wasn't ready for it. Wasn't the version of me that can hold it, that can handle that. Who's talking out there? My neighbors, I can hear them talking right now. That's weird. I would encourage you guys, if you haven't tried that before, if you don't pray or meditate or take that stuff seriously, I'm telling you, ask God, source, your higher selves, I don't care what your spirit team, I don't care what you want to call it, the universe. Ask for your right next step to make it obvious, to show you where the next thing is that you need to work through and need to incorporate into your life. And I get so much stuff through YouTube. These algorithms become a tool to show me, hey, Jason, here's the right next step. Here's the next thing. And I just start seeing them. And things pop into my reality. And if I see it a couple times, I usually say, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's the next thing to incorporate. I usually just get a feeling in my gut. Same thing happened with dry fasting and juicing and drjoedispenza and going to his events and like all this stuff. So it's just a chain reaction of events and everything. You set the intention and stuff starts to happen. And when you get on semen retention and you set the intention while holding all of this life force and knowing how to move it up into your heart center and build this energy field around you and send this signal up, 146, 146. Dr. Joe's work, if you know, you know. Setting up this signal and pulling it back, you can pull back these messages, guys. You can get these downloads. You get these cheat sheets. It's like, oh, here's what's next for you. Here's the right next step for you. So when I come on here and I say, oh, the elites know about semen retention, they're not sharing it intentionally, and then I got guys freaking out. They're like, well, there's billionaires that aren't on semen retention, and there's professional athletes, and like just making stupid comments. I'm like, you're missing the point. The semen retention, guys, this like learning and understanding and actually having the experience of this, knowing what you can use this energy for. The next step is also knowing how to use this energy. right? Learning how your physical body works, your vessels work, how you can tune in to messages from the universe, from God, and like write next steps in your life and like transform your reality. Like there's more to it than just semen retention. And that's probably the core of this message happening at 50 minutes here. Maybe I finally got to it here. The point of this message is semen retention, guys. Yes, it's great. But it is the fuel that is meant to evolve you into the next best version of yourself. Don't get necessarily caught up worshiping the semen retention itself. Realize that, okay, this is the first thing. What's the next thing that I now use this and add on? It's like you're building a puzzle, guys. You're getting all these pieces together so you can finally see the bigger picture. A lot of you are missing a lot of pieces yet. That is why I say semen retention is the first piece of the puzzle. Start with that one. And then the next puzzle piece is going to appear and arrive once you get on this, because it's going to start changing you into the version of you that is now open to and looking for that next thing to incorporate in your life. Because as a depleted goomer, are you going to be somebody that's going to act on all these puzzle pieces and put this thing together? No, you're not. Because you haven't addressed the first thing. So you get your sexual energy figured out. Now you're going to be somebody that's open to the next hard thing, to the next difficult thing. And that's how I'm approaching it. I'm not the same me that I was when I started. That version of me on day one, he is gone. And guess what? In another, who knows, 30 days, 50 days, more or less, I don't know, I might make another video saying, wow, that version of me at 120 days, he's gone too. Where are they all going? I don't know, but I'm not him anymore. I've leveled up in all XYZ, all these different ways. And so on and so on and so on. It just keeps continuing. It keeps happening. You think, wow, like when I get to this, I'm gonna have it made. When I get to here, I'm gonna have it made. When I hit this financial goal, I have it made. When I get to see 100,000 on the screen of a bank account, I've got it made. When I've got a whole big place to myself, I've got it made. When I get a sports car, a really fast car, I've got it made. And you get the thing, you get the stuff, and you realize, whoa, this is cool, and I'm grateful for it, but it's not as great as I expected it to be. There's more. There's more in life. And so I would challenge you to try to find gratitude for the journey, the uncomfortability, these steps, the process of it, and not just be constantly looking forward to the next thing that you can obtain and obtain, because every time you get it, you move the goalpost. This has been my life. I get the thing, I move the goalpost. I get the thing, I move the goalpost. I get the thing, I move the goalpost. Just to find out, wow, okay, I got all the things. Why don't I feel satisfied? Because I keep moving you know what I mean? Not enjoying the present moment. I'm just like focused on, oh, what can I get from this thing? What can I get from this thing? Like Jason, if you start showing up with gratitude and just enjoying the present moment, everything is easier. And like I talked about last video, the distance between the sine waves, peaks and troughs and whatever of a higher frequency of gratitude, for example, means there's less distance to cover and less time for things to take to manifest into your reality. So it's like, dude, if you just show up with presence and gratitude and not get lost in the future or lost in the past, where you're sitting here reliving the past or these hard things that happened, or worried about the future of where these investments will be or where you'll be. Will I ever find love? Will I ever be a version of me? Whew. will ever be a version of me that, you know, gets to experience this or this or this. I'm like, right, your mind starts to wander and it pulls you out of the present moment. But the present moment is where all of the power is to create your reality from. To be a co-creator of life as opposed to just a victim of your past or a victim of all the fear-mongering or FOMO or whatever. That was a bar right there. Go listen back to that. I was feeling it on that one. Semen retention, guys, I'm telling you, we join this thing, we start this thing because we're like, oh, we get these physical benefits and we get more female attention, 55-33. I'm saying that. We get this physical attention, we get physical improvements, we get more female attention, people start treating us better when we go out, like things just start working, our eyes look better, maybe our testosterone is definitely going up, maybe the beards and the hair and everything start to fill out, maybe you get more of a glow, things become easier. Like that's the stuff that pulls you in. That's just the flashy thing in the storefront that you see, like, that's cool, I'm gonna go inside and check this out. And then you get inside and you're like, oh, but look at all this other stuff. Whoa, I didn't know they had all this. That's what it's like on semen retention. Because pretty soon, you don't realize it, but you're being purified and you're being changed internally. You're becoming a better version of yourself that you end up liking more, and you didn't even know that you would like this version of you more because you didn't even know this version of you could exist to like more than the other version before you started. And pretty soon you're hooked. And this is where I'm at, guys. It's just like, could I stop? Yeah. But I have a why that is so big and strong that I'm still gunning for. So I'm going to keep going. For some of you that might not have that might not have specific things that you're after, and this was just a test to see what happens, yeah, you might be fine releasing, but I still have so much purpose for this sexual energy as opposed to just releasing it and procreation and dating, and that will all come in the right time. I can feel it. I know it to be true. But the point of this season is, can I sit with myself in the uncomfortability of holding this energy, sitting with this internal pressure? Can I sit with that and love myself more, start to love my life more, and stop looking for everything outside of me and maybe just start showing up as it, being it, like I have it, enjoying the present moment? Can I do that? Can you do that? That's the big question. Have you tried that? Have you considered that? Have you considered that to be the whole point of this semen retention thing all along? That you were deceived? It's not all about the physical benefits. That's just to get you hooked, you little fish. To get you hooked. Once you're hooked, you get reeled in. And yeah, there's been dark nights of the soul, like 58 as I'm saying that. Man, I don't know why I'm seeing all those. There's been dark nights of the soul. There's been flat lines. There's been periods where I'm questioning reality and reworking reality, and like my nervous system is just freaked out and in fear. And yeah, I've just been sitting here and working through that, moving through that. You're going to have to as well, right? Because the next version of you has worked this stuff out, has sat with it and become a version that they can then progress to the next level. A higher version of you is operating at a higher frequency. So a lot of this lower frequency bullshit that you're still holding on to, baggage that you're carrying around, habits, vices, perspectives, limiting beliefs, right? That stuff has to go for your frequency to move up to the next version. It just does. And once you truly understand that, hopefully you'll have a little bit more motivation to dive into it and face it head on. And burn the ships, really. At this point, guys, I've burned the ships. There's no going back. On the semen retention thing, yeah, like this year, I'm really stoked to keep this going. But also, burn the ships, like this whole concept of just continuing to become a better version of myself and level up and upgrade. And it's, yeah, there's uncomfortability in it. But it's like, burn the ships. Oh, well, got some paddle boats left. Okay, burn those too. What else? What else we got? What other flotation device or little raft? We have a raft. Burn that too. Okay, keep going. Like there's no turning back. It's like, nope, I'm gonna see this through. And my goal for this channel, guys, is what's going to inevitably be happening is you're gonna get to see this version of me that keeps leveling up and becoming a better and better version of myself. And one of the side effects is you'll get to start to see cooler physical things happening in my reality. Oh, wow, the houses, the car, like whatever. That will be a byproduct, yes. That'll be a side effect, yes. But the real work and the real victory and the real win is the internal stuff of what I've been talking about here for the past hour. And I'm telling you guys, I sit down here and it feels like I've been talking to you for 5 or 10 minutes. It's been an hour. That is typically how you know that you are in alignment with your purpose, with something that makes sense for your life. And what Dr. Joe even says too is, and I've heard other people speak on this, is the things that do that for you, whatever that may be, like you lose track of time, it's because you're literally operating outside of time because you're so present. And the body actually won't age during this time because you're not living inside of, Newtonian time and physics and operating in that right now. You're actually operating at a different dimension. You're outside of space and time, and thus your body doesn't have to deal with the physics, Newtonian physics of that reality. So people who are able to live in the generous present moment consistently all day long, you'll notice they're happier, they might be healthier, more vibrant, right? Because they're not dealing with the physical effects of the physics of reality. Didn't see that one coming. That's why if you have something that you're really excited about, lean into it. Do more of it. Unless it's corn or OnlyFans or any of that BS. That ain't it. That ain't it. That's literally spiritually depleting you, energetically depleting you. Well, we'll see how you guys react to this one. This was not what I was anticipating for this video to become. But hey, hopefully you got something good out of this. Hopefully this brought you value, more value than the time that it took for you to give, right? More value than the attention that you paid me for this. If you made it this far, comment old me. Old me. And I'll know that you made it to the end. I'll know you're a real one. Yo, some of you though, like for real, I'm starting to do this more frequently where I ask you guys to post something at the very end of this to see who made it all the way to the end. There's a lot of you that are making it the full amounts of these videos is wild. it's cool to see. Glad you're here. Grateful for you guys. Again, hopefully you got something really helpful out of here. Maybe even if it was just one nugget that you could implement. But yeah, comment old me, and I'll know you made it. I'm not the same version of myself that I was when I began this, guys. I'm sure you're noticing the same thing. If you are, let me know in the comments. And it's kind of the whole point, right? To transform, become a different version of ourselves. So it just happens in a way that we don't expect. Yeah. Give this video a like. Feel free to help each other out in the comments. Appreciate seeing that. Helping guys out with other questions, stuff like that. And yeah, make sure you're following along. I'll see you on the next one, gang. Peace, love, abundance. I'm out.